Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Wednesday, December the 8th. We're here to get caught up, our weekly updates. Man, that counter in the corner is so weird. We're going to talk CPR. Thank you. Are you going to... Okay, yeah, just even for a few minutes. Okay. Hey, sorry. Many things happening all at once. Some of you may have heard about yesterday afternoon's excitement. It's been lots of the capital W work. So good morning. Mr. Flowers would like me to remind everybody that if your student is enrolled to take CPR, that they should be enrolled in an online CPR course, and if they are, they need to complete that class before the end of the week so that they can still take the CPR like testing portion. We are live now. Facebook.com/MHSWildcats/live. All right, sorry, got to get the link out there to some more people. Good morning, everybody. So that was the CPR reminder. Again, today's Wednesday, December the 8th. We have this week and next week, and then we're off for a couple weeks. When we come back, we have 2 weeks, and then that second Friday is the end of the quarter. Sorry, there's a lot of moving parts today, so I am going to go ahead and say, if you've got questions, please don't hold on to them. Please go ahead and put those in the chat so we can roll through them. Shout out to all the folks who are here who answer questions before I even see them. That's always appreciated. It's good to know that this frames per second thing is not a camera issue, because I'm using the built-in camera on my computer today and I'm still getting the same warning. I wonder if that's a throughput issue from the district. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over to the Google form. One more week and I can archive a bunch of things. That'll be great. All right, so all of those were really great questions. Again, shout out to what does it mean if you write a referral? Any ETA on when the faculty information may be updated on the website? Oh yeah, soon. I'll get with Jonathan Davis about that today. Before we leave for break. I'm going to say that out loud. We'll get the faculty section updated before we leave for break. It's going to be kind of bare bones. It'll be teacher name, email, but we'll get it there. Are there any groups selling Millbrook Christmas ornaments? I am unsure. Yes, there is an orchestra concert tonight, although I bet the time on the calendar is wrong. Now that you say that, I think the calendar has the orchestra concert at 5:30 and it's actually at 7. So I'm going to go ahead and change that right now. It's also not going to go until 9:30, so let's get that right. There we go. So yes, there is an orchestra concert tonight. It'll be great. It is the premiere for Mr. Hathcock as our orchestra director. I'm excited for him. I don't know about Christmas ornaments. I don't know if Miss Miller's here and she knows any better, or if we have anyone from PTSA who's here who might know. This is a great chance to shout out for the PTSA. We're trying to hit 450 members, and I think we're at like 385. So if you haven't joined, and you can, please go on the website, parents, PTSA, all the joining information is there. It's really the greatest way to help out your kids' experience here at Millbrook. They're dedicated to lots of recognition for kids and to supporting teachers as well. All right, I have a friend who would like to apply to Millbrook for her daughter the next school year, but she said the link isn't open to apply yet. So the magnet application should be open now. I can tell you that it doesn't close until January 31st. But in terms of applying here, if this is not your base, you do have to go through the magnet process. I'm going to drop in the Wake County magnet info right here. It is a little tedious of an application process. You know, I was really surprised when as somebody who does a lot of magnet work here for this school and knows about magnet in the county, was applying to a magnet school for my daughter, and it was still hard, and I still turned it in at like 10 p.m. on January 31st. I was like cutting it close. But yes, maybe the link to actually submit applications doesn't open till January, but I really think it should be open. If not, you can have them email me, and I can get in touch with our magnet office, and we can help find out. Chorus. Is Chorus selling ornaments again? Let me text Mr. Adams, and I will see. Yes, juniors will definitely be taking the ACT in February. I can even give you the date here in a minute. If somebody happens to know and wants to go ahead and tell me, are y'all selling ornaments? What was I said? I said we're going to get the date for the ACT. Still not have the date on here? That's so weird. Yes, it's in February. I'll find the date, but juniors will definitely take it. And I'll see. I've texted Mr. Adams. He's got first period planning, so I think there's a chance he'll see that. So for Virtual Academy kids, again, this is not, the ACT is the ACT. They're basically a third-party company, and they say this is how it's going to happen. So Virtual Academy students, if you're going to take the ACT for free, which we're supposed to tell you we have to give you the test if you're a junior, you will take that on campus. You can speak to, oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I have to do a thing. I've snoozed this alarm like 9 times. It's not a great thing when I'm snoozing my alarm multiple times to take my medication for ADHD. Here we are, though. Okay, so Virtual Academy kids do have to take the ACT on campus, but you can reach out to Miss Sanchez, M.A. Sanchez at WCPSS.net, and she can talk to you about taking it on the makeup day instead of the main testing day. The main testing day, we will test every single junior on the list in classrooms of 20, and that's just how that environment's going to be. The makeup day will be fewer kids, and we'll be able to spread out a little more. But that's what we know from the ACT. Your junior does not need to sign up. If your student is in the 11th grade in Power School, they are automatically put on a roster, and automatically a test is sent for them. So they need to plan on being ready to take it. Good question, though. My freshman doesn't have a GPA yet. When and how often is that calculated? That's an outstanding question, especially because if your student has friends at other schools in Wake County that are on the block schedule, they're going to start getting GPAs in January. Some freshmen might get a GPA calculation in January if they're taking a blocked class like Spanish 1-2, French 1-2, Math 1-2, whatever. We have some block classes like that. Anytime a final grade is posted, your GPA calculates. So for the overwhelming majority of students, that means they don't get any final marks until June at the end of the year when we put final grades in. But occasionally we do, many students double up in Math 3 pre-cal. Many students double up Spanish 2-3. We have some history double situations where kids get grades mid-year, but that's 10% of students will get 1 or 2 of those, and it doesn't happen every year. So if your freshman is in 8 classes that are year-long, then they're not going to see a GPA until the end of the year. Oh yeah, PTSA. Tomorrow is Spirit Night. Go check out Bentry. It's going to be delicious. Wow, so many. Okay, there's a lot going on in the comments now. Thanks, Ms. Miller. Latest checkout is 1:45. So if anybody's watching this and can't see the chat, for a doctor's appointment, what is the latest time a student can check out during the last class of the day? The answer is 1:45. And that's because after 1:45, it becomes very difficult to get in and out of the parking lot. Shout out for that. Last ACT question: is this a practice test for the real deal? This is the real deal. These scores, as part of the registration process when your kid pre-codes, they can select universities to go ahead and send this score to, and that's why it's such a big deal. Like, we can only put 20 kids in a room; they have to sit a certain distance apart, and that's why it's so strict, because these are scores that can be sent to colleges and are eligible for that. Not a practice test at all. It is the real deal. Excellent question. Wednesday is Spirit Day / Spirit Night. Wednesday, 2 days. Wednesday, today and tomorrow. Wednesday and Thursday. Very good. That's a great question. Okay. I do want to do, before I finish, the band concert Thursday at 7 p.m. I'll be there. Sorry, that's why I'm not saying it, because it's already on my calendar. But yes, there's a band concert tomorrow at 7 p.m. It's going to be super rad. Come check it out. Okay, one serious note, just to say it out loud. It goes like this. We as a society haven't figured out how to be super polite about masks when it comes to just everybody being in large groups and places. And it wasn't so much of an issue at football games when we were outside. But now that we are starting basketball season and we're inside, I need to say this out loud. Wake County still requires everyone in the building to have a mask on. Even the players at this point have to have masks on. I think the one exception is wrestlers can take the mask off when they are on the mat for their match. But basketball's out there doing their best trying to play with masks on. We are going to remind people about that. But the reason I say that is because we are starting to really get a lot of kids falling off the wagon in terms of wearing their mask correctly here at school. And that's really hard, considering we are actively moving forward with plans for Winter Bash. We're actively moving forward with plans for prom. Like, we are planning those in earnest. And right now, those are going to be events where kids have to wear masks on. And I'm not super excited about putting those events on if kids can't have their masks on here during the day. So whatever it is, however you feel about it, when we're here, Wake County expects everybody to have a mask on in the building. And it's getting real hard on the teachers and staff here that you love, trying to fight kids on that every daggum day. Okay, that's enough of sad sack Charles Patton. We're going to move on. Do you have any insight about why Millbrook enrollment has not been capped? Classes at Millbrook are as big or bigger than at other capped high schools. I don't know how capping works. Given the opportunity, I would ask those same questions probably, to be honest. It's a really savvy question. What I do know is this. The state uses an algorithm to determine the number of staff members needed in a building, and funding, and some other things. So it's not just teaching positions, it's other positions. And it uses an algorithm based on the number of kids in the building. Right, and so what most people want as taxpayers is for us to be as efficient as possible. And so what that means is we have 2,385 students. Hold on. That was like 2 weeks ago. I'm going to just look because I can know the actual answer right now. We have 2,388 students at Millbrook High School today. And the algorithm does not change until you hit 2,400. And I think the window is something like 1,900 to 2,400. So we are several hundred students higher than other schools in the same staffing allotment as us. We are as high as you get before it kicks into the new state algorithm at 2,400. And that's why we're always calling and checking and all these things. We're telling people at the beginning of the year, call your friends, tell your friends, where have they been? Because 2,400 really changes a lot of things around here. It's like 3 or 4 more staff positions. That brings class sizes down. It's more resources. It's a bunch of stuff. So on one hand, as taxpayers, we it's a longer conversation for another day. But in the land of efficiency, we are maximizing the resources allotted by that algorithm. We can have a separate conversation about the appropriateness of how that algorithm is built, whatever. But that's why class sizes are the way they are right now. And I don't know anything about how capping works, but I hear you. But also, we're a magnet school, so I think the reason we're not capped is because the magnet office would say, oh, this school's too big, so we're going to allow fewer magnet students to go there. And we obviously don't want that as a magnet school. Any info on how long the wait is for the driving portion of driver's ed? My daughter took the portion 6 months ago. Okay, chat. If you're here and you're in the chat and you happen to have any recent experience with the wait time between driver's ed, the class, and the driving portion, please feel free to put it in the chat. I'm reasonably sure that a few months ago, like maybe in October, people were sharing stories about how their students were driving and they took the class in June. So 6 months is not unheard of at this point, I don't think, because they're still having classes and they're putting 12, 15 kids through a class at a time. But in the time period that they run a class, they can only do 2/3 of that in a car. So it's just tough. 8 to 9 months. Yeah, so keep the faith. You'll get there, I promise. Ps18 results came in. Ooh, hey, that was early. Can I get a hard copy of the test to look over it? I don't think so. The PSAT, again, that's a test that is made by the College Board. Is there an option for prep, or do you have any recommendations for tutoring? So what I would do, if you don't think your child did particularly well in the PSAT, I'm actually not gonna say the score that's here. I will, actually, because we don't have any identification here, and then this might help people with better context. Okay, so I'm going to read this as is on the Google form. The PSAT results came in. Can I get a hard copy of this test to look over it? I do not believe my child did well. 1050. Is there an option for prep, or do you have any recommendations for tutoring? Thank you. So I don't know what the math says about... Sorry, I read the chat and then I lost my train of thought. I don't know what the math says about students' performance in the PSAT to the SAT. Part of that is that they're going to learn some of the content to prepare for the SAT in their classes at school. That's part of the thing. There certainly are SAT prep classes. Our student services department usually does a really great job of offering some of those things before and after school, and sometimes during the summer. So if you have your PSAT results back and you want to know how to interpret them, my first suggestion or recommendation is this. Email your counselor and ask for a time to meet with them to see if they can help you walk through that score report, because you should get a total score and you should get 2 sub-scores as well. And they can say, okay, here are the tutoring options that you might consider. Here are the free resources that you might consider. The College Board has been really great about giving a lot of free online access to support stuff like that. So I will just say 1050 being a bad score is going to be dependent on what your goals are in terms of schools. I've been out of it for a while, so I don't know what is competitive, and I also know we're back on the 1600 point scale. They had that goofy writing section for a while, and so the SAT was out of 2400, and whole generations of people couldn't tell their kids, well, I got this, so ha ha ha. But now we're back to that, so great. That being said, I wouldn't worry about a 1050. I would recommend getting in touch with your counselor and seeing what next steps might be to really start prepping for the SAT. I think it's a really heads-up question. Thank you for asking that. That is beneficial for everyone. All right, I'm going to do a last call for questions in the chat, and then I have to go look up some stuff. How do we get the PSAT results? Oh, that's a good question. Let me find out. I've been saying it forever that I'm going to just take this list and put it on this wall. So you're here to watch. We're going to put it, even you guys can even see it right there. Just mash it right there. Now we've got the phone numbers. Hello, how are you? Great. Full disclosure, I am on Facebook Live right now. I should probably explain to you what that is at some point in case you ever need to leverage that. I'm very sorry. But I'm here with a bunch of parents, and somebody asked this question, which is, how do we get the Psat results? And someone just posted in the chat, your student should have a College Board login. Okay. 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 And, okay. Do their counselors also have that access? Okay. Just trying to save you some work. Okay, you got it. Alrighty. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Bye now. Okay, so Psat scores. I'm so sorry that I didn't know this. I could have just asked weeks ago. You should log into the College Board using the same credentials that your student used to sign up to take the Psat. So they should know those. If for some reason your student doesn't know those, have them swing by guest services and make an appointment to see Miss Harris. She's our Dean of Students. In previous videos, I may have referred to her as Miss Brown. She got married, and I haven't gotten the name change sorted out of my brain yet. But our Dean of Students, Miss Harris, has access to every student, so she can help them either get their credentials to see it or just give them their scores, I think. In any case, great questions. Do student services provide ACT prep prior to the February test? Hey, sorry, one more question. In the past, I've seen there's some Princeton ACT prep stuff that has happened, but I felt like that was maybe during the summer or in August before kids came back. Yeah, okay. Do we have anything on our docket now to prep kids for that? Okay. Got it. Okay. Perfect. Okay, thank you so much. All right, bye now.
You did.
Hey, what's up? Are we selling ornaments?
Yeah.
Can I say, come here?
We just have a few.
Oh, just a few? What's a few?
We could possibly 30.
30. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big deal. There's a limited edition drop happening right now. We have Millbrook Ornaments. Mr. Adams, what's the best way for people to get these if they're interested in one?
Email me at JADAMS.
So I'm going to put Mr. Adams. Mr. Adams' email is in here. I'm not even going to put why it's there because it's such a limited opportunity. I'm going to work for QVC one day. Ladies and gentlemen, there are only 30 of these available. How much are they?
$10.
They are $10. They used to be $24.99. We just marked them down to $10. That's not true at all. But there's only 30 available, so if you'd like one, please email Mr. Adams. He can give you the details on how to get one of these wonderful Millbrook ornaments. Do you want this one? Because now there's only 29 if I keep this one.
You hold on to it.
Okay, I've got the bonus one. Thanks, Mr. Adams. Golly, I didn't find out the date. Man, sorry. Oh, sorry. I've got to call Miss Harris. Hey, I'm so sorry. Oh, cool. It's not super time sensitive, but that's awesome. Do you know the date of the Psat by chance? I mean, excuse me, the ACT. It's got to be February something, right? My guess is 22nd. The 12th. That's a Saturday? Is that the one for all juniors? Maybe I need to ask Miss Sanchez. Yeah, the big ACT one for all juniors. Sorry, I'm sorry. To be announced. Okay, that's what I thought. And then the window, the makeup window would be like the week or 2 weeks after that. Okay, thank you so much. All right, bye now. All right, so we don't have the ACT date right now. I'm going to do one more thing while we're here. I'm going to just try and stall as long as I can. I'm really surprised that we don't, but everything is weird this year. All right. Texted Melanie while I was calling her, so we'll see. Let me make sure. Oh yeah, I knew there was another one, and I knew. Okay, so ACT. Yes, there is going to be some ACT prep stuff coming. Miss Harris just told me on the phone. She's like, it's been frustrating. They haven't sent any of that stuff. They've just sent us gifts like pencils and things. So yes, she just got off the phone with them a little bit ago, and we are going to have some ACT prep stuff. I'm not sure if it's going to be sessions that we run or materials kids can take home, but there's going to be some stuff that we'll announce as soon as we can. Ms. Novak bringing the heat this morning. There's been some talk of book banning or charges against Wake County Public Schools. Will this be impacting Millbrook in any way? I have heard nothing other than reading the WRAL story. So if that were a situation, here's how it works, right? We are super fortunate in this county to have. So we're a pretty big school system, right? Like 14th or 13th in the country. I really should probably just remember that forever, but I can't. That being said, we have to have one of the top 3 like digital learning, media, libraries, departments in the country. We have some absolutely brilliant human beings helping guide and coach media specialists in schools and stuff like that. So here's how it works. Any parent can challenge any book that we have in the Media Center or that is read in class. And there's the distinction there, because sometimes there are books that are read in class as a class set. Sometimes there are books that are read in class but that are independently chosen, right? The assignment is the student will pick a book and the student will read that book, but it's not assigned. And then there are just books in the Media Center for students to read because reading is awesome. Now, a parent can object to any text on any grounds they have, and we have a process for that. I coordinate with a colleague of mine at Central Office named Kendra Allen. I cannot remember her title, but last I checked, she's probably doing 9 people's jobs. But she would help our Media Technology Advisory Committee do a review of that book. And what would happen is we would have a group of teachers, parents, maybe a student or two. I got to go back and read it. There's a very specific process. Ooh, March 1st for the ACT. Sorry, it just came in. I'm going to finish this. March 1st, ACT. So if we had a challenge to a book, then the committee would read it. They would have a formal process to evaluate and make a decision. And then it can be appealed to other levels. But there is a process for challenges to books. I was in a different school system when The Color Purple was challenged. And that was a fascinating experience to watch. It was challenged at the board level. And it was really fascinating to see a bunch of adults say, this book shouldn't be here because of X, Y, and Z. And then for about 30 AP students from 3 or 4 different high schools show up and say, you don't trust me to do this? It was really interesting. So it usually does make some very, very good and difficult conversation, the kind of conversation that communities and societies are built on. But all that is just to say, we have a process here at Millbrook, but we're not actively in it. So I think the short answer to your question is I don't think it will impact Millbrook in any way, at least at this point. Okay, ACT. I'm putting it on the calendar right now. Because February is a weird month this year, apparently the ACT is on Tuesday, March the 1st, and this is going to be on the student calendar, and we are going to make it bright orange. In Google, it's important to know that orange is called tangerine, and so I do tangerine for testing. So the ACT is on Monday or on Tuesday, March the 1st, and the makeup date, the way it works, the ACT usually gives you a month to schedule your makeup, so we will schedule our makeup date about 2 weeks after the initial date. We will not have that date quite yet. Okay, thank you so much, and if you have, again, last call for questions. I don't think I saw any ornaments. Email Mr. Adams, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Have a good week. I'm going to give it 10 seconds to see if anything pops in. Cool deal. Thanks for being here. Tell your friends. We'll see you one more time before the holidays. I love you all. The admin team loves you all. Thank you so much for everything, and we'll see you next week.